Welcome. Wow, it has been an incredible spring so far, and I have to say I'm pretty excited to be here with you guys because my name is Taylor. This is Hack and Company at Remax River City, and we're talking about the market statistics. We have been it's been unraveling right in front of us, or about what this pandemic market is turning into, and I'm so excited to decode that with everybody here today. The Realtors Association of Edmonton, they just released these statistic packages, and we really want to save you from having to read them, because it's not a great read, but instead, let's just share that insight. I have a couple of wonderful people with me today. I want to introduce Kim Christiansen. She is the senior teammate here at Hack and Company, has been with us for a few years now, and it's probably been a pretty crazy market from your perspective so far.
Yeah, it's very crazy. Something I've never experienced before in my time being a realtor, so pretty exciting.
That's awesome. And I also have Amie Brown with us. Now, Amie, you've been on fire since you started here at Hack and Company, now starting to move to a pace of selling a house almost every week. So I think that that's super exciting. And you're coming into this great market. What do you see? Like when you see these statistics, is this daunting to you when you see a really fast market like we're having here in the Edmonton area?
It's not daunting. It's really exciting. It's amazing to see. I wasn't expecting to see numbers like this, but I feel very blessed to have come into real estate while they're like this.
Yeah, and honestly, like when it comes to the strategy, it's all changed. So I think that we should unpack this for a few people, just talking about really what's different, because the first question that we often get from everyone is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? Kim, why don't you dig into that question? How do we even tell?
Well, we measure with months of inventory, so supply and demand. And if it was like this month, March is absolutely blowing me away. We're at 1.6 months of inventory. So a huge seller's market, super exciting for them and homeowners. Versus like even February where it was at 2.1, and then back in January where it was kind of a balanced market. It was a balanced market, 3.5. And if you kind of look over from year after year, we just haven't seen 1.6 months of inventory ever. I don't know, not since I've been in real estate. So it's so exciting and blows me away of the.
That's awesome. And taking a look at those statistics from last year to this year, like it looks like it's twice as hot. It looks like last year we were almost at 3 months of inventory. And to give you a definition of what we're using as months of inventory, it's what happens if you took all the houses and at the rate that we're selling them, you sold them all. Like how long would it take? And normally I think we would be defining like balance between buyers and sellers at 3.5. And during the majority of your real estate career, what do you think it's been?
Yeah, mostly like a buyer's market for the most part, or balanced.
Totally. And that means that the average family is going to be really worried about selling their property, and they're going to find the buying experience to be super easy. That's like a buyer's market. But the downside of that is they're not going to be very excited about the sale price that they're going to get in a market like that, because the buyers are really like defining the market. So now we're moving into this incredible seller's advantage. Like, I think that most of our clients should be excited. It should feel like somebody in their household got a job with how they're building equity this year. Many of the people that bought in the last 10 years have never even seen conditions like this. And honestly, they're going to make back in months what they lost in years. That's the type of excitement that you're talking about, right, Amie?
Absolutely. It's been so incredible out there. And there's a lot of people that are just coming to the market because they finally can.
Yeah, like it's like an unlock, right? Like they've been building enough equity that suddenly what they want to do next is just available.
Mm-hmm.
But man, there's a ton of people that don't know this yet, right?
Not like if they're in my database.
Yeah, not in our database. That's because we've been telling everybody about this. But a lot of people just think that this is just a glitch. Like, other markets have been hot for 2 years, and there's a lot of talk in the newspaper about a crash or a bubble. And it's like, where? Because definitely not here, right? Like these markets that they've been talking about, Toronto and Vancouver, have been hot for 2 years. They've been moving up so much that there's definitely some room for them to change in a downward momentum. But this is one of the most suppressed markets in the greater, like in Canada. I think that this market has so much potential. So people are saying it's an inventory shortage, and I kind of want to address that. When we measure inventory, what we're talking about is all the properties that were on the market at any given month. And what we can see is that in March here, we had like a lot of new listings. And what I mean by that is we're talking about over 3,000 new listings. Whereas if you were to take that back and say, well, what happened last March? We had under 2,500 new listings in the same month. So lots of new inventory coming to the market, but it's not sticking around. Last year, we would have had about 6,700 houses on the market altogether, not just the new ones. Whereas this year, it was only just around 5,000 listings that we carry in total. So I want people to understand that it's not that supply has been restricted, it's that demand has increased. And in almost every economic example, demand is what calls supply to the market. Like so many sellers wouldn't have sold, but now they can find out what they can sell for, and that's amazing. That's probably really impacting our days on market. What's your perspective there?
Just following in the same trend as months of inventory, days on market are dropping month after month as well. For instance, like March for all total residential was 34 days versus like in January is 57 days. So just continuing to like decrease as we go on. And again, very, very exciting and mind-blowing.
Yeah, I was looking at it last year, and when you take a look at like last year versus this year, we're more than a week ahead, right? Like it's a week faster than it was last year, and we're only talking about like right now, it's just outside of 4 weeks from start to finish for all of residential, right? But that also includes condos. How would you guys say the condo market's going?
The condo market really is still frozen, but just starting to thaw.
That's a good way to put it. Like here today, we had some snow. Right? Like it's like the world's trying to sort itself out towards like turning towards spring. And really when we see condos, like they were the one thing that really hasn't changed from last year to this year. But man, if houses got faster, like even in the last 3 months, it was 51 days for single family houses. So almost 2 months. Then it was 42 days. And now it's 27 days. That's fast.
Yeah.
So what other things are you using to take a look at indicators? What was something that you found interesting about the stats package, Amie?
Basically what's hot versus what's not. It's definitely one of those markets where if you've got the trifecta, so location, characteristics, and condition, you are absolutely in a hot place where you should be selling because you're going to get top dollar for your house. Now, if you don't have the trifecta and have all 3 of those things, you still are going to have a great opportunity in this market. It's like giving mediocre ingredients to Gordon Ramsay. He can still make something incredible out of it. So if you choose the right realtor with the right strategy, you're in a great, great position, whether you have those 3 things all or whether you have 2 out of 3.
Okay, this was something that you saw on your recent experience. Like both of you guys had some pretty cool personal milestones when we take a look at what happened in our last month. So Amie, you set the team record for number of showings on a single listing. What was the number in total?
68.
68 showings. Like I remember setting the original record, it was 64 showings, and it took me almost 90 days. How long did it take you to make 68 showings happen on a single listing?
4 days.
So there was another record tied to that, right? Like that was the most number of offers that we've received on one of our listings. How many offers was there?
There were 10.
Okay, and we know that we're going to talk about the distance from list to sale in percentage because that's part of the marketing rules to do with real estate. And I couldn't believe that you were over 10% up over list price. So that is a smoking hot listing. Now, Kim, you set a team record on the other side of the coin. So the team record that you set was winning with buyers in the most competition. How many other offers were you against?
Well, there was 11 total.
Wow, you versus 10 others. And what do you feel as though was the key to success?
You just have to have a plan. You have to, really educate your buyers, have a plan going into beforehand. You can't, so it's all about a strategy, a plan, and then time. Just, using that time. You'll see a lot of realtors presenting, a few days after the listing. So we just use the time and keep a good contact and just have a really good plan and strategy moving forward in all these multiple offer situations.
That's fantastic. So taking a look at what it takes, like from start to finish when it is in multiple offers, I know that a lot of people just think that there's just an offer. You just write down, and if you have the most money, you win, and if you have the least, that you don't. But I don't really think that that's the way it happens. And I know that the agents here are rare when it comes to teams. You guys are all listing agents as well as buyer agents. You know how sellers think. You know what's valuable to sellers. Is it always the most money that wins?
No.
Okay, Kim, can you tell me a little bit about what makes a winner?
Again, being prepared, right? So you make sure you have everything in order. When you're presenting, make sure that you have your pre-approval letter, sending with you have your step-by-step, your just being super prepared. And
yeah, so you're talking about preparation before you even make an offer. So
yeah,
pre-approved, working with a lender that you can make those short returns. And then you always communicate that directly to the seller, right? Like you're telling them, like, these people are working with a mortgage broker I've worked with many times. They're working with a home inspector that we've worked with before. So we understand that this person is going to give them a professional perspective on this. And we're going to do those in such short notice that you're basically going to have certainty sooner than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think certainty sooner is compelling to sellers?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they feel like every minute they're wondering, right? Until suddenly it's sold.
Yeah.
Now, Amie, you're on the other side of that. As a listing agent, how did you choose the winner under that much competition? Was there anything aside of price that really counted for you?
Absolutely. There was possession date. Possession date was a big one for us. There was how much of a deposit they were willing to put down to be in that number one spot. And then, of course, what kind of conditions and how long they were going to be.
That's fantastic. So those types of results are really what our clients want. And when we talk about taking somebody through a multiple offer process on the seller side, man, does the process ever change outcomes? Like when those offers originally submitted to when the dust actually settled, like there was over $20,000 difference from where the top offer was to where the top offer ended. And that's something that is inspiring for all the families we serve. Like we're desperately trying to save them from 3-star experiences. And there's some people out there that really think the job as a listing agent right now is to get an offer. I'm sorry, but we want to get them all. And we want to get them all at the same time because that's going to give the best results to those sellers. Now, I was checking out the sales to listing ratio and like taking a look at what came on to the market this year versus like what left the shelf. I was really interested to see 76% of the market is selling right when it kind of like rotating out each month, right? So for every 10 new listings, pretty much 8 of them are leaving. Now, I remember when we were really frustrated, like in December, if you had a buyer looking for a place, for every 10 listings that showed up for single family homes, 11 actually left. Like we were losing inventory, and that really like made a lot of people concerned. And honestly, 8 out of 10 houses are leaving the market. Duplexes and townhouses seem to be the continuing to be the dark horse of real estate, just killing it, even doing better than houses at 9 out of 10 of them leaving the shelf. Just when they show up, like duplexes are hot as all get out. But meanwhile, those apartment style condos are still probably the buyer's choice. Maybe we could call them the most potential in our market.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a big change from last year, and I think that it should change seller expectations. But why do you guys think that, like, you can't get 4 out of 5 dentists to agree on toothpaste? But like, why do you think that that 8 out of 10, it's only 8 out of 10 single family homes that are actually like selling in their opening month under these marketing conditions? Why do you think that the other ones don't make it?
I think that there are a few reasons. A house that's listed too high to begin with is not going to get the same attention as a house that's listed reasonably and that you can build off of.
Okay, so you think that it might be the list price. So if you price over the market, the reason that buyers are concerned is because everything else is going in multiples. Mm-hmm. So if you're already priced high, they also think that they're going to have to pay more, and then nobody shows up. That's probably the worst outcome for a seller that they can have right now, is going over the market, because they might actually get more money by pricing lower and playing the bounce. This is something that we've learned in a lot of markets, and it's about using sale price or list price as a marketing tool instead of traditionally like what the seller's expectation was. Now, when you see properties out there on the market that you walk people through and they don't sell, Kim, like what do you think? Like, obviously our listings come to the market with a lot of prep, but the show condition of a lot of places out there, I'm wondering if they're getting the same amount of coaching. Would you say that the normal houses that you walk through are in great show condition, or do you think that there's some people that really lose some opportunity there?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot that if you're not prepared, like moving forward, putting your house on the market, showing condition absolutely matters, and your marketing. So like your pictures, you need to be a 12 out of 10. Thousands and thousands of people see them. So marketing's huge, and when you're walking through with buyers, if your show experience is not the best, they're not going to have the best experience. Whereas if, it was the other way around, decluttering and cleaning and makes a huge, huge difference for buyers these days.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. And Amie, I've heard you say that too. What was it, like the cheapest improvement you can do for resale is clean?
Yeah.
I think you guys would both agree on that.
And it's an indicator of how well you've taken care of the property while you owned it. So that's the reason why.
And I think that really changes your outcome. Like, obviously everybody needs to know about it. Kim, you totally crushed on that. And both of you guys were talking about pricing well. And the third element that really compels buyers to make those high offers is that show experience. They got to love being there. They got to feel good about having that place and not feel like, oh man, you guys couldn't even clean the place. I bet your repairs are missing.
Yeah,
right?
It's like first impression, right? Everything has your first impression. So when you walk into anything and that first impression means so much because you don't have that again.
Yeah, it's also funny how those pictures work, because I know that in the past I've had clients that wanted to see houses that didn't even fit their needs because the pictures were stellar. Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, you're trying to convince clients to go and see a house that you can tell from like the information on the house is going to fit them perfectly. But the photos look like a crime scene. Like they look like there just needs to be a chalk outline and like a CSI guy with the shades, and getting people to go see houses that have poor representation it's difficult. Like we're even trying to bring a buyer to someone else and it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's something that also people should focus on, because these average sale prices are starting to get pretty exciting. Like the milestone for single family houses this month, $500,000 average price in the greater Edmonton area for single family homes. So that's something that we should definitely celebrate. Now, we're also talking about these duplexes and townhouses, and take a look at this 3-month trend. 382 dips down to 375, and now we're back up to 390. Some of these things are like, they're kind of confusing to be like, oh, the market's fluttering. It looks like it's kind of going up and down. Can you guys see any of this, or do you have any thoughts on why that might be the case?
I've definitely noticed the up and down numbers, and I think it has to do with like what is coming to the market. I
do too. I think that in the winter, there's a lot of people that are like in the utility part of real estate. So they have to move for job transfer, and the amount of inventory on the market, the amount of people participating in the market is so low by comparison to the spring. Like a lot of people don't know that the spring market is driven by the average family upgrading. And the reason it happens in the spring, even in markets where it doesn't snow, is because the school year is that break in the school year is when everybody wants to move.
Mm-hmm.
So that drives this spring market. And we're in the playoff season of this spring market. So right now in April and going into May, it's super hot. There's tons of action. And all the people that are moving because it's their choice are bringing listings to the market. We see more 5-star listings, is what we call them, coming to the market now than at any other time of year, right? Because people also know that they're going to be able to get the biggest market to show their house to, and that's going to result in the most money. So when you're talking about these, Amie, you're talking about triple threats.
Yes.
So, great location.
Characteristics and condition.
So if you're talking about like maybe a house from the 80s, then it would be renovated in a cul-de-sac. And we're talking about those houses that are really the size that the average family wants. So like bungalows that are spanning past that 1,400 square foot range, those 2 stories that start to get like past 2,100 square feet where they get the in-house or the main floor office and things like that. But man, the luxury market's been pretty exciting as well.
Absolutely. For years now.
Yeah, like it's just been pacing away. We're seeing a lot more luxury listings coming to the market and moving this year. And I know, Kim, you're probably super excited for acreage season to hit its peak because that's the late riser, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants their land to show off. And so we're probably going to see those types of properties, the best of them, to be coming to the market in like May and June. Even some of the later ones in July. But I have to say that I like the fall acreage season because the people that are leaving acreages are normally coming back to town and they want that one last summer. So some of the 5-star acreages are late arrivals. So keep your eyes open for that opportunity. Now, what would you guys say your notes to sellers would be right now? Like, maybe we should warn them. Like, what's the most likely way that they're going to end up in a 3-star experience instead of the 5-star experience that we want them to have?
Just make sure you're current, like have the current information because it's changing so drastically, so fast. This market's moving so fast and changing. So you just want to make sure that you are working with someone that, is in the current, working a lot, selling a lot of homes and knows what's going on. It will make a huge difference to the sellers. That's
great advice. What do you think, Amie?
I think strategy. So you should be working with somebody who is able to explain that strategy, what it's based on, and how it's been working thus far, and absolutely go in prepared and ready to go.
I couldn't agree more. I think that if the movie theater didn't do previews, it'd be half empty. I think that coming soon process is something that not even enough people know about. When to drop listings, when the majority of people can see them, loading that opening weekend is something that is just missed in real estate. And we have a launch process that, as I mentioned, Amie, you've been hitting some record amounts of showings on those ones. Kim, you also have a couple of really nice listings. You just put one up that's going to have an exciting week in Richfield that's in this listing launch process. And right now it's Tuesday. So our internal network is getting that listing. We have a list of great agents that get that listing. We have a list of people that are interested in real estate that we're always talking about. And they know about things before the MLS, before Realtor.ca, like by days. And then we're going to move into tomorrow where we release it on social media. And that's going to, again, build that buzz, build that hype. But what's the first day that you can actually book showings on this place you're bringing to the market, Kim?
Thursday morning.
So we're going to know probably by Friday whether or not this listing is meeting our criteria to hold for offers. Yeah. Amie, I thought it was a super nice touch on your last listing, how as agents were talking to you, you were telling them the frequently asked questions. Like, this is my client's favorite possession date. Kim, I know that we already have your multiple listing package set up so that we can help you organize this and present them to your clients. And we're all excited for these next weeks to come. I think that that's going to be one thing that we leave with sellers is someone needs to be talking to you about strategy that is for this market.
Yes.
And we have strategy that is for this market. So if you are looking for the type of results that we're bringing you, then you should touch base with us because honestly, we're known for 5-star experiences in this market. This is our real estate team, and where you can find us is on number 1 at rankmyagent.com. We are the highest rated and reviewed real estate team in the greater Edmonton area. And these are verified reviews. You can't buy these reviews. These are people that actually had to have traceable transactions, which is something that you don't normally see in real estate. I know it's really tough sometimes to meet your heroes, and meeting some of the people that are known to be the best in the business. It could be one of two things. It could be that they're like us and they're known for helping people, or it could be that they're not like us and they're known for finding people. There are a couple of different ways that you can be successful in real estate, and we chose to be on the side of the average family. So thank you, Amie, and thank you, Kim, for helping us decode the REALTORS Association of Edmonton's March statistics package so these people didn't have to read it. I hope everyone has a remarkable day. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.